All right, guys, this is going to be part 2 of the Ford coming together in our series Road to Cruise Week 2022. We're going to try to get the steering column in place. We're going to try to get some of the wiring done, and, well, I should say more of the wiring done. That's been a journey by itself. And we're going to see how far we can get on the actual fuse panel and relay box. So stick with us. Let's see what happens.
Alright guys, so today what we're going to try to do is get the fuse box started on this for this 40. We got some relays, we got a fuse box, we got a couple bus bars or link bars, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. We got some eyelets, we got a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm going to start trying to make up the little panel, so I'm going to have about 6 relays, and then I got a 12 fuse panel, 12 slot fuse panel, and we're gonna, hopefully that'll be enough to at least get us started. I know it'll be enough to have the headlights, the turn signals, that kind of stuff done. We may have to add in a circuit here or there for the for like the heater when we eventually get that. I don't think we're putting that in for cruise week, but when we get that, we want to be able to, you know, add it in if we need to. I think we should have enough circuits with this. If not, I'll buy another supplementary block and we'll add in. But this will at least get us started. This should get us down to the beach. 12 circuits should be plenty enough for what we need to do for getting to Ocean City. So without being too long-winded with it, I'm going to get to start mounting all this stuff on and start wiring it up. So stick with us. I'll kind of explain what I'm doing as I go. I'm no electrician. I have no certifications in any of this. This is what I've been doing for years for race cars and stuff like that. We're just going to adapt it to this. So stick with me and we'll get into it. All right, guys, so we're going to start mounting all this stuff down. I got a little drill bit to do a pilot hole, and then some screws. Mount this stuff up first, then we'll get into wiring it. So I'm going to get to it. Okay, so that's mounted now. For right now, we got to get a couple more screws. I got to grind the backs off of these so they're not sticking out. And then we'll, I think what we're going to do is mount something like this for the other ones, for the blocks. And yeah, then we're gonna have to find some screws for the relays. So we're gonna keep working at it. Okay guys, so I got this fuse box mounted that you saw. I put a relay on and the bus bar just to kind of give you an idea, because once I get all of these on there, it's gonna be kind of, you know, full up and you're not gonna be able to see what goes where. So what we got going on here is this is gonna come in from your switch, whatever switch you're going to use, and it's going to come over to the relay, and it's going to power up the circuit in here with the ground here. So it comes in on the from the switch out to the ground, and then it's going to connect this red wire, which is going to go here to the fused power, and then it's going to come out here, and then you're going to connect whatever you're wanting to power up, fan, headlights, whatever you're going to use, turn signals, 4-ways, any of that is going to come off of this post here. So you're going to bring the positive lead that's going to go out to your device, let's just say your fan, is going to come off of this one, and it's going to go to your fan. This is the one that's going to come in with the switch. So you're going to have another fused circuit that runs up to your switch and then out of your switch down to here. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to run smaller switches that can't take a lot of power, can't run a lot of power through them to control bigger devices that need more power. So what I'm going to do is I got the heat gun here. We're going to heat shrink all of these, and then if you really wanted to do it 100% proper, you could solder in there and use regular heat shrink. But I think these crimp connectors with the heat shrink on them, you shrink them down. This is going to be in the car. This isn't going to be out in the weather. It'll be just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 relays on each side, and then that's going to leave me 2 posts here just for other fused circuits. So we'll also run one here that's just going to come out and go right over here. That's just going to be fused. It's not going to be relayed. For something small, like even for the switch. So if this switch needs a fused source, that's not like an ignition source, you can come off of here and then go to your it's going to be a fused circuit from power, fused, and then you can take it to wherever, to the switch, and then back to here or whatever. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we also have enough stuff to do another one on this side. So then that's going to give us 6 relayed fused circuits, and that's going to give us 4 just fuse circuits. And then we're also going to have a couple extra that can just come off without the nice need if we need to add something. So in the future, if we need to add just a little bank off, because this is 12 circuits, so we're going to have 6 that's going to be taken up by the relays, and then we have enough for 1, 2, 3, 4 on either side that are going to be fused. That's going to leave us 2 extra ones for potential add-ons. So I'm going to get to it, and then I'll kind of show you the finished product, because like I said, it's really tedious and boring and whatever, and I want to be able to not bore you to death. So I'm going to get to it, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys. Well, there she is. There is the fuse box for the 40 Ford. So we're gonna have, like I said earlier, 6 relayed circuits and then 4 fuse circuits. So I'm hoping that's enough. If not, we got another 2 spots for fuses, and if we have to make those in the relay in a separate location, that's fine. But there she is, and next thing we're going to do is hopefully get it in the car. We can get rid of that inline fuse and stuff that I used for the headlights just to get them going. Put this in, use one of those fuse circuits for that, another one for the parking lights, then probably relayed circuit for the turn signals and brake lights, and yeah, so let's get to putting this in the car. Alright guys, so there she is. She's mounted in there. She's right above the battery here. We're still probably going to pull from the solenoid out on the firewall to bring it in. But as you can see here, let me see. As you can see, there's quite a bit of rat's nest wiring. I got a random just relay chilling up there. Still got the steering column stuff. We got wire nuts just working on the gauge cluster. This was all like temporary stuff because I knew eventually I was going to put in the fuse box over there. So what I'm going to get you doing, probably set it up on like a little time lapse, but I'm going to rip all this preliminary just basic wiring out and then wire it all into the fuse box, because as you can see here, the fuse box is mounted now, so we can get rid of, like I said, like you see, like that random just relays it tied up there. That's why it wasn't mounted or anything, but I just was trying to get the initial wiring and just kind of do some stuff while we were waiting on these parts. These parts were supposed to be in a while ago, but they didn't get here, but they're here now. So take rid of all this rat's nest wiring out of here. I'll set it up on, I think, a little time lapse or something, and then we'll get it ripped out, and then I'll probably get a couple of the wires in on the time lapse that are already in here, and then I'll explain to you what's going on and how I'm doing it. So let's get into it.
our new plate with our new, there it goes, the new swivel. We're gonna see if we're gonna make it work. We're gonna see if it's gonna fit.
You know what really jacks me up? You complained about how you had the silver side up when you made the last one, and then you made another one today and still put the silver side up.
I think it looks better though.
Well, yeah, but you complained about it the whole time. Not sliding on. This is pure gold right here.
It's like whoever designed this designed it with zero tolerance. So there is no
So we've gone to the technique of ripping and tearing shit.
It doesn't take me long to get there. Back when I was a younger man, I'd get there a lot sooner. See what I'm getting at? There is no... It's like they want you to sand down all this beautiful black.
You sure?
It's all powder coated. Yeah, look.
There's not an adjustment of some sort on it, like for like loosening it up, or
Nope.
what was that set screw you were taking out earlier?
I already took that out. It's over there on the workbench. You can't even like...
What about?
You can't even like jiggle it on. I'm gonna go get my favorite tool.
It's behind the seat right here.
That's a small one.
No, there's a rubber mallet back here. Of course, I've only set that like 28 god dang times today. I don't think it's moving.
Oh, it moves. There it is. There it was.
Look at-
There it is.
Look over there and see who's calling me. Now aren't you gonna have to take the U-bolt out now?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Everything I did, I'm gonna have to do over again. Because reasons. There we go. Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna hold it, you put the U-bolt in.
Oh, okay. Because that's gonna be freaking easy.
It'd be easier than...
I work with a steering valve. But like every project on this, my projects I can do by myself. Vince's projects he can't ever do by himself.
You're gonna need this nut and this washer.
Well, we might as well turn this.
Try to be patient.
my wires are right there. I mean, you can swing the hammer, just wait till the wires move, or move the wires and then swing. Whichever one.
I bet you I'm hitting one of the bolts. I almost put money on it.
All right, guys, so we're finished up for today. We'll start again tomorrow, but we got the ignition wired into just a straight fuse, one of the ones on the end there that we had talked about. So it's fused into the ignition, and then we have one of the relays tied into an ignition bar, which I put down there. Put an ignition bar that's relayed and fused just for different things. Right now we just have the gauge cluster hooked to it, but there'll be a couple other things that will eventually get hooked in there to it. And then the other thing that we did, the other part that I hooked up today was the headlights. So they're wired into a fused relay circuit, and then they run up here to the ignition switch, and right here's your light, and there's your headlights out there. So that's done. So really we didn't gain a whole lot of ground today as far as wiring anything new up, but we got everything that was in that rat's nest of wiring into the fuse box, so that now we can start on new circuits. We also were able to get the final mounting place for the steering column. That's where the steering column is going to live. We needed to do that so that I could start wiring the turn signal, so I knew how long to make the wires to hook into the column wiring. So tomorrow, I don't know quite what we're going to start on tomorrow, but I'm hoping to get maybe the rear turn signals or something like that done up tomorrow. Okay, guys, so just a little update on what's going on. We got the tail lights wired in. So what I got going on here is I took the signal wire from my from the headlight switch and jumpered it over to the another relay so that we could run the parking lights off of the same switch as the headlights without overloading the switch. So we did that, and then it comes out on this one here, this blue wire here that you can see, and it runs down along there, around, and out the back there. We still have to put grommets in and this, you know, a couple things here and there, but then it runs out and along the frame rail, and then I poked it out over here and then paralleled it underneath the car. That's actually just the ground strap for the gas tank, just for right now. And I ran it over and paralleled it over into this one. So both of those are working. So just do a little. So as you can see, tail light there, tail light there, and then also with doing it like that, we can then tee right off that blue wire right there, and we can go into this harness here up to the gauge cluster to make those lights work, and then back out once we get the front tail or the front parking lights mounted. Right now we don't have any up there, so that's why I haven't wired them yet. But as soon as we get those mounted, gotta get the bumpers mounted, and when we get those mounted, then I'll splice into that lead wire, go up to the gauges, and then out to there. That way we're fuse and relay protected again on all circuits. So that's the update right now. And I think the next thing you'll see me doing is working on the turn signals. So when I get to that, I'll turn you on. Here's the update for the end of this night. I did get the turn signals hooked up. So what I did for the turn signals was, I don't know if I said it in the last one or not, but I used this top relay right here to power an ignition bar down there. So then it would that ignition bar is technically operated by the switch, but the relay and the fuse control it. The switch just tells it to come on. And then so that's fused and relayed, and it runs from here, from this bus bar here, out of that top relay down, and feeds that ignition bar right there. So what I did for the turn signals is, since you need a fused ignition source to work the turn signals, pulled one off of that ignition bar, ran it over into the column. For a General Motors column, you run into the I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it, but you run into the purple wire. The purple wire is the in for the turn signals, the in power. So I took the source from the ignition bar over to the flasher. As you see, I got it just zip tied up there above the column, and then out of the flasher to the purple wire, which goes up and into this turn signal switch here. And when you flip your lever, it changes, you know, depending on which position you have it in, it's which one it goes out on. But when you have the left turn signal, which is the only one I got worked up tonight, the left turn signal, it comes back down the column. And I don't know if you'll be able to see where I put it together, but it comes out of yellow wire. Now I just happen to have yellow wire, so I took yellow wire, connected it to the yellow wire out of the column, and it goes up, over, it's right here, and it goes down, along, and into the rear harness. All my rear wires are going to run right here down the middle. We're going to actually loom them and kind of secure them like this to the side of the tunnel, and then cover them with carpet. So it actually goes in, and like I showed you before, out that hole in the back, but it goes out through there and then out to the left turn signal. Now when you run through a column like this and you're not using like switches and stuff like that, when you use this column controls your turn signals. So you'll have the power that comes in for your turn signals and goes out on two separate wires. So you'll have one that goes to the left turn signal, which will be on a yellow wire, and one to the rear right turn signal, which will be a green wire. Then you have two other wires that run up front. I think they're dark blue and light blue for the front left and right turn signals. So, and then you also have to put in a brake pedal switch. So when you push the brake pedal, it puts power on a thing, and this switch will actually override the turn signal. So like if you have your turn signal on, you press the brakes, everything works the way it's supposed to. This switch handles everything as far as how it's supposed to work. And then you also have another constant hot that comes in for your four ways. Now I did have a big problem today. I'm just gonna throw it out there because you might have the same problem. This column was shipped with this pressed in for the four ways to be on. When it does that, it disables the turn signal circuit so that the four-way circuit runs. Because remember, again, the turn signals are an ignition power, four ways are on constant power, straight, just a fuse source straight from the battery. That way, even if the car's shut off or it's not running or you have the key off, you still have the four ways going. Well, if this is on, it overrides your turn signals. So I had a heck of a mess today because I was trying to wire it up and could not figure out why it wouldn't allow the turn signals to work. And it was all because this four-way switch was pushed in like this when it was shipped. So if you are wiring one of these up, it's kind of like an I did it column. I mean, it's a generic or a universal. It's a universal column from I forget what the name is, but either way, it's kind of exactly like an I did it column. It's based on a General Motors turn signal switch and column wiring, same as like the I did it columns. So, but yeah, if you're trying to wire one of these up and you've got it wired exactly how it says, check and see if this was pushed in, because if this is pushed in, then you're not going to get turn signals. So just make sure that's out, and you should be able to do it. So yeah, so I'll show you what we got going on here. We're in the middle. Turn the key on, switch on. You hear the relay, the flasher, and there you go. So now at least we have one turn signal, and so that's a big positive. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely we're getting there. Like I said, there's gonna be one more wire in that harness, and then that'll be harnessed up. And then again, you can't see because I got my thing in there, but there's a little hole right there that runs to the back. And all the wires that go to the back, which will be for the two tail lights, the parking lights, and the fuel sending unit will all run through there. And we'll clean it up, put a grommet, put some loom on it, but just figure I'd give you guys an update. So, all right guys, so I'm back in the shop. It's a little loud because it's pouring rain, but we're gonna try, I think today, to work on the brakes, trying to put in a brake switch. I ordered one off Amazon, but I don't think it's working. So let me show you what we got. So where do we have it over here? So this is our brake switch from Painless Wiring. It's supposed to activate at 50 to 120 psi. It doesn't seem like it's working. I tried pushing in with like a round punch, and I can't get the contacts to close to get continuity between the two wires. So I don't know if it's the part's faulty or what, but I ordered a different one also, but it was going to be a little bit longer to get here. So I got another one on the way that's the same size, same thread pitch. So since we have that one on the way, what we're going to do tonight is either way, we're going to take this coupler and this T here. Come on. That's a T. So it's got 3/8, well, it's 3/16 line, 3/8 couplers, and put it in the brake line. You guys aren't going to be able to see that. You'll be able to see it better now. But see this connection right here? It's two flares into a coupler. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that flare out and we're going to put this T in. And what that's going to allow us to do is when I put this coupler on, then I'll be able to hook the gauge or the switch into it. So like I said, I don't think the switch is working, so I don't think we're going to get brake lights tonight. But even if it's not, like I said before, I have another one on the way from a different company, but the thread end is the same. So if we have to, we'll take this one out, put that one in, no big deal. So I'm going to get started on it, and I'll let you know how it goes. After a couple trips to the parts stores, we got all the fittings and stuff together, and we got the brake switch wired up and plumbed up. So what we had to do is we had to end up putting an adapter here because that was actually too small for the thread that we had. So we did that. We got the adapter in, we got that in, we rebled the brakes. Good enough to make the switch work. We still have to go back and rebleed again. So it's just a T into the switch, and then I'll show you how we did the switch. So now we're on the inside of the car, and what we did is we came off of one of these, the fused power. Remember I told you there was a couple that, there was gonna be 4 of them that was not relay protected, or relayed, they were just fused. And brake lights don't pull all that much juice. because it's only two 1157 bulbs, and they may end up being LED at some point. So what we did is we came off of here, which is fuse protected, ran down, up, and over the dash, and then out the hole. Again, I know there's going to be grommets on everything. Everything's going to be tidied up, but it goes out to the hole, out the hole to the switch, and then back out of the switch, and then up here to the white wire on the column. Okay, the white wire is the power break in. At some point, if you guys ever want a video on like how it's done, I can give you a video of just what all the wires do on the column. But yeah, so it goes to the white wire in, and then that will turn both of the rear brake lights on. So I'm gonna step back there. I'm gonna have Vince press the pedal, and then you can see we have brake pedal or brake lights on. So one step closer. And now you can see we lost brake lights. There they go. Like I said, we have a couple loose fittings and stuff. So, but there they are on, and they're working. Vince, turn the ignition on. There's your turn signal for the left, turn signal for the right. And again, there's new lights going to come for the back here, but this is just to get us going. There's your brake lights. So we're all wired up in the back. Now I can start tidying up some of the stuff. So that's going to about do it. Oh yeah, today also Vince decided to put the running boards on. So we got the running boards on, and yeah, so that should do it for tonight. And we'll see what the next step is.
All right, so Dave absolutely dominated this week. We got the fuse panel done with the relays on them. We were able to get the wiring done all the way to the back. Now all we're doing is waiting for the taillights. Once they come in, we can actually hook them up and make them work. While Dave was doing that, I was able to get the steering column in place. We still got to do a little bit of final adjustment on that, but the bulk of it works the way it's supposed to right now. That was an ordeal. While Dave was hooking up the fuse panel inside the car, I went ahead and adjusted the grill and got the electric fans hooked up to the radiator. Due to lack of, we only have one camera at this particular point in time, we had to kind of pick and choose what would be more interesting to film, and we ended up going with the fuse panel because nobody wants to see someone adjust a grill and hook up two electric fans for an hour and a half. That being said, as we were working on this, the garage has kind of been going through a little bit of changes, and we've been doing a little bit of clean out of it and just kind of getting rid of stuff that we don't use anymore and bringing more stuff in that we can use. In a surprise to me, I found something that I forgot that I had. That is the best part about cleaning your garage. You'll just find stuff that you bought, forgot you got it, and it's just like rediscovering it all over again. So we're going to put this into the car. Whether we can get it working or not, that has yet to be seen because it will be adding something significant. But even if we can just get it in there, it's going to look cool. So, isn't it pretty? Oh, it's so lovely. This is good time juice. So we're going to see if we can get that in. I think I have all the parts to hook it up. I don't know though. I've only found about half the parts that I bought for it. So as we keep cleaning the garage in between filming, if I can find the other parts, we'll try to hook it up and give myself a happy button. But until then, stick with us. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of our future content. The 40 is definitely coming together. We're hoping in the next couple weeks, maybe we can actually take it out for a test run, go get a burger or something. That'd be great. But again, make sure you like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all of our future content. 40 is going to be a big part of that. We're in the final push, the last few weeks that we have before Cruise Week. So the pressure is on to get it done. But again, guys, thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you on the next one.